Boys Athletic and Convocation Center on the campus of Notre Dame for today's game between 11th-ranked Syracuse and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt. This is the youngest and perhaps the most promising team that Digger Phelps has ever had here at Notre Dame. They're 8-2, and they're getting stronger. And when we spoke to Coach Phelps, he put this game in perspective.
For both schools, this game is very important. Syracuse on a 3-game losing streak, especially with a difficult road schedule in the Big East. The Irish looking for a showcase game to prove to people that they can battle to Seattle.
And as we bring in Bill Raftery, Bill, he mentioned some of the problems Syracuse has. What are they?
Well, Sherman Douglas, their leader, their head, he was hurt in the St. John's game. Not the same player since, just a simple crossover move. Jim Boeheim needs him to run the show or they're in trouble.
He's the only true point guard Syracuse has. The Orangemen average more than 94 points a game, and we're all set. It's the 11th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Thompson, who plays higher at 6'8". 6'9" center Derek Coleman averages 12 rebounds a game. In the backcourt, the all-time Syracuse assist leader, Sherman Douglas, and he's joined by Matt Rowe. For Notre Dame, Digger Phelps, in his 18th year as head coach of the Irish, the winningest basketball coach ever at Notre Dame. And a look at his starting lineup, it starts with freshmen, 3 juniors, and a sophomore. There's freshman sensation Alfonso Ellis. Jameer Jackson is only 6'2", but plays quick forward. And 6'9" center Keith Robinson at the pivot. In the backcourt, junior co-captain Joe Frederick and sophomore Timmy Singleton will start at the point. This series began way back in 1914 when Syracuse began. Notre Dame won that one 50-14, and the Irish lead the series 8-3. A big test for both clubs. And Syracuse will have the first offensive opportunity. It's a man-to-man defense by Notre Dame.
They'll try and help out inside.
Inside to Owens.
Pretty good start. Ellis didn't deny well. Billy Owens put the shape up for Sturrock. Pretty good pass, and then the steal now by Sherman.
That'll tell you something about the health of Douglas. Well, I talked to him just before the game, and he said he hasn't felt this good in over a week.
If he's risky, he adds a lot to this club.
4-0 Syracuse.
Man-to-man, Syracuse.
Jackson. This is Timmy Singleton who penetrates. And there's a whistle in the first foul of the game.
Good penetration. What Notre Dame tries to do, Stevie Thompson tried to help out. They'll force a situation where they pinch defensively, and then they'll dish it off or take it all the way. That time, the foul.
The foul was on Thompson. That's his first, the first team foul against Syracuse. Timmy Singleton will go to the line. 6'1" sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana. Played on the same high school team with Perry McDonald, who went to Georgetown.
I mean, this is a whole new look for Notre Dame. Upbeat, fast breaking, a lot of pressure. It's like Digger at Fordham in the early 70s.
But here at Notre Dame for 18 years, he was a half-court team, and I'm sure it's not easy to get back into that rhythm.
Felt he didn't have the talent to get up and down. Here's the full-court pressure.
Singleton gets Notre Dame on the board. Now the Irish draw the pressure back as the Orangemen break it easily.
Now both clubs will beat the pressure and try to score. Nice step through.
Tough power move for Derek Coleman, and it's 6-1 Syracuse.
Syracuse, I think, will press a little bit. That time they backed it up. It'll all depend on Sherman. We'll check it from this view.
The Orangemen are 3 for 3 from the floor, and here's a steal. Ahead to Douglas. Watch Thompson for the 2.
If they're in the open floor getting easy baskets, that's trouble for the opponent.
The Irish crowd comes to its feet, trying to spur on Notre Dame's young team. It's 8-1 Syracuse.
Little pop out. Good shooter, Frederick.
Frederick hits that one for 2. Just underway in Notre Dame, Indiana. 18:20 remaining in the first half. Tim Brandt and Bill Raftery with you. The Orangemen hit their first 3 shots. This is Thompson with a nice pass down low to Coleman. They got a whistle away from the basketball.
Billy Owens, I think. Right now you can see power basketball by Syracuse. I think the practice yesterday was as intense as I've ever seen a Syracuse practice. Jimmy Boeheim involved. The concentration level extraordinarily high. It looks as though they've taken it into today's game.
Syracuse average averages 95 points a game, but in their 4 losses, they've only averaged 69. And another Notre Dame turnover. Nice pass to Owens. No bucket. He walked.
That was vintage Syracuse basketball. Gorgeous.
Boeheim can't believe the call. He comes up. You see the turnover situation. Notre Dame 3 already.
Jimmy did a little begging early, but the turnovers right now by Notre Dame leading to the explosive break by Syracuse.
Ellis takes it, Singleton, and he scores.
You see the drive? If you don't pitch, they'll take it all the way.
Ellis helped make that play for Singleton.
Billy Owens in the backcourt, Tim, can see over the pressure and is a talented passer.
3-point Orange lead. Matt Rowe, Thompson, Douglas. He'll go inside with it to Coleman, and he walks.
Composure.
That's 2 turnovers now for Syracuse.
Jimmy upset. They really played well against Villanova. The next 2 games they played poorly. St. John's and Connecticut. So they're not too far off. It's Sherman. Nice look.
LaFonso Ellis, the freshman.
LaFon's a very loose freshman, I might add. Nice smile, very relaxed.
Notre Dame's on a 6-0 run. It's a Syracuse 1-point lead. And it's another Orange turnover. Timmy Singleton pushes it up quickly to Frederick. He'll shoot from there.
Now, yesterday, Joe Frederick was sick, spent the night in the infirmary, and right now, they got 2, Frederick and Sherman Douglas, a few words. Fisher's getting right involved, but he says he feels pretty good today, Joe Frederick, over the flu and able to perform.
Elmer Bennett will come in for Notre Dame. Joe Frederick will sit down.
Now, he's in the game. Up the tempo. Frederick obviously ill yesterday, needs some time off, but Digger likes to get 10 people in the game so they're ready for the second half. Little nickel dimer outside by Tim Singleton.
They're going to call that on Singleton, and I think, Billy, because of the confrontation at midcourt, now they'll start calling it a little bit closer to maintain control.
I hope they don't take over the game. This has been pretty good so far. Turnovers leading to most buckets.
The officials, Sam Croft, Rick Hartzell, and Jerry Donahue, ACC officials from the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Man-to-man with a screen across.
It's a 9-8 game. Notre Dame up by 1.
They're running a nice high-low. Here's the loop.
Derek Coleman is fouled by the freshman Ellis.
Notre Dame concentrates on weak side defense. What enables them to help out, they check out very well. They react to the loose man, but they also concentrate on any post passes.
David Johnson, a 6'5 freshman from Morgan City, Louisiana, comes in for Syracuse. Matt Rowe will sit down, and Matt Rowe also has a bad back. It's stiff. We didn't even know if he would start today. Coleman hits the first one.
Well, David Johnson had a great practice yesterday. We thought they might insert him.
Quite frankly, the Notre Dame coaches don't like the matchup as well with Johnson in the game. They would rather have Rowe. First Syracuse points in 2.5 minutes, and it's a 1-point Orange lead.
Still man-to-man. They run a double along the baseline. They're really looking to get it inside.
Bennett penetrates the paint. Nice dish, and Ellis wasn't ready for it. So with 15:56 remaining in the first half, it's a 10-9 Syracuse lead. Does well. The basketball team does well.
Joe Frederick said they're afraid not to. The spillover, the spirit.
Syracuse 4 for 5, has 3 turnovers. Notre Dame 4 for 4 now, and 4 turnovers.
Let it in too easy, Tim. Look at this. 2 passes in a row.
Inside to Coleman with a power move. Can't get it to go. Ellis with the rebound.
Great turn.
Bennett didn't have anything left to put it up.
Gonna give him steps.
And he walked.
Boy, did he turn the corner, Elmer. Strong move, something Notre Dame in the past hasn't done. They'll exploit. They've run a secondary break. They also run plays off the fast break, so it's an upbeat Digger Phelps club.
Timmy Singleton now gets a break as Frederick comes back into the ballgame. If you were worried about Sherman Douglas, don't. He's got 2 points, 2 assists, and a steal already in this game. It's 10-9 Syracuse with 15-15 remaining in the first half.
Nice look.
Ball's loose. That's a tie-up. And the possession belongs to the Irish.
I mentioned Digger being a little different on the bench. No more carnation. Everybody's read about that. Of course, the style of clothing, much more subdued and not up and down. But Joe Frederick said, I missed the carnation. I grew up watching it.
This is Frederick, who drifts right, working on Stevie Thompson. And Jackson,
The hook.
with an offensive foul. That's Jackson's first personal and the third team foul against Notre Dame. That carnation started back in 1976. The team went to a restaurant, ate. The waitress sent Digger and the team carnations, green carnations, from her dad's flower shop. They won that day, and he wore it ever since until this year.
Wonder if he went back to the restaurant. He's much easier with the kids, too. Nice play by Stevie Thompson.
Look at the rebound by Robinson. The outlet to Frederick. It's a 3-on-1 situation for Notre Dame. And Ellis has it blocked.
Great reaction.
Nice pass to Johnson. He can't convert. Up-tempo game now. Syracuse leads by 1. Alley-oop.
Great look.
One-point Irish lead.
Stevie Thompson was the wrong guy in the middle with the ball, Tim. They had a fast break opportunity after they beat the pressure. He didn't handle as well as he normally would.
Singleton will come back into the ball game for Bennett. Rowe will come back in for Syracuse, replacing Thompson.
Folks, it's Notre Dame going up and down in white. Sherman.
Inbound play, and there's a whistle and a foul against Notre Dame. It's against Timmy Singleton.
Boy, did he get caught. Little step and cut. Timmy looked at the ball. Excellent maneuver. Sherman Douglas looks like he's got the legs today.
That's the 4th team foul against the Irish. Sherman Douglas, only a 50% free throw shooter. And he rattles this one in. He's the all-time assist leader at Syracuse. He's 9th on the NCAA all-time assist list and could break that by the end of the year.
Not that Derek Coleman was upset about Sherman being hurt, but he thought he might be given the opportunity to be the point guard. And Boeheim said never.
He hits his average on that trip to the line, 50%. And we're tied at 11.
2-3.
Bennett will set the offense for the Irish. Frederick now will drift back up top. There's not a senior on the Notre Dame team. What a recruiting class. 5 freshmen that Digger Phelps is extremely pleased with.
Well, the Fonz sort of ties it all together, doesn't he?
Joe Frederick. Coleman with a rebound.
Notre Dame likes to go right to Sherman Douglas to take him away on the break.
Douglas off the right elbow scores.
Forget the back.
He could hardly walk yesterday.
Oh, he was setting us up, I think.
He now has 5 points.
This will slow Notre Dame down a little bit. Maybe take away the inside game.
Just barely hit the rim.
Got a good shot out of it, didn't convert.
Rowe now drifts down the left side. Syracuse shooting 5 for 9. Now in their 4 losses, the Orange shot only 53% from the line and didn't shoot that well from the floor.
Good play.
This is Owens.
Shuffle cut, Tim, and then Derek steps to the ball and throws down to Billy Owens, who's shaped up. Not good interior defense thus far by Notre Dame.
15-11 Syracuse.
A little trap out of the 2-3.
Air ball. Rebound underneath Robinson.
Jimmy Boeheim got exactly what he wanted. A tough shot. They just didn't rebound. Notre Dame, premier rebounding team in the country, quite possibly.
Douglas pulls up for 2. And it's a 17-13 Syracuse lead. Feel a sense of urgency from Syracuse in this game.
Yes. They feel it's as important as any conference game for them mentally. Out of bounds awareness, you have to know. And Jameer stepped on the line.
Jameer Jackson's a junior, one of the older players on this team. Co-captain of the Notre Dame team. Coming up next, the road to the Final Four continues on CBS Sports as Villanova takes on the Wildcats of Arizona. Some of you will see Texas take on Vanderbilt. That's coming up next on CBS, the home of the NCAA championship.
Damon Sweet out of Beaumont, Texas. Teasing him about his hometown. I was down there a few years ago to see Lamar play Villanova, who you'll see a little bit later.
Keith Tower also comes into the game for Notre Dame along with Sweet. This is Coleman. Takes it to the right side and hits the short jumper.
A pull-up. He's got that ability to step across people. Very talented youngster. Doesn't concentrate all the time.
19-13 Syracuse. The Orange on an 8-2 run. For two.
Shooting quickly, though, don't you feel? Not running the sets.
Bennett's got a nice release from out there, though. He looked comfortable.
Really don't have the numbers here. Tough shot.
Rowe forces the shot. Frederick with the rebound out to Bennett. It's a 3-on-1 Irish. Pretty.
Nice delay. Both clubs work hard at exploiting the numbers. You must get back.
The Fonz now has 6 points. That's Ellis.
A little better inside defense.
Owens with the turnaround. Air ball, Syracuse.
Zone's been pretty effective for Syracuse. They forced some tough shots, some quick shots. And of course, I think Bayham's concerned about rebounding.
It's a 2-3 zone by Syracuse. Frederick now will work the perimeter.
On a high-low here, too. See David Sweet popping.
Nice jump stop by Frederick, and he's fouled.
Joe sort of slithers between people, stops, and dumps off more often than he'll shoot that shot.
Herman Hareed comes in for Johnson. Douglas is about to check in as well.
This is zone, but the same principles. You've got to pinch. You see Matt Rowe getting over late. The scrape from behind, something they drill both against zone and man-to-man.
Frederick, co-captain, has doubled his scoring statistics from last year. Picks up some of the scoring slack left by David Rivers. 68% free throw shooter.
They've spread it around a little bit.
Strong rebound by Coleman and a push underneath. They called it on Keith Tower, and that's his first. That's 5 team fouls now for Notre Dame. It's 19 all.
The gate is a coach looking like Jimmy Walker. Now he's more like William Buckley. He used to like those Rockwell paintings. Now he's into Monet's. And a different guy. Next thing he'll be advertising quiche on TV. But the players like it. They talked to him in the summer about being patient with them. And all of a sudden, it's a whole new ball game for Digger.
Notre Dame on a 6-0 run. Frederick with 6 points. Ellis also has 6. We're tied at 19 with 10 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Tim Brandt and Bill Raftery with you.
Here's the 2-3 we watched them work on, Tim. They come out and extend, try to take the game. Now, this changes the tempo a little bit.
Nice pass inside.
Now, they match up, and they didn't communicate, Notre Dame, and that cost them.
Thompson now has 4 points. Keep in mind, Syracuse was ranked number 2 in the national polls, has dropped to number 11 over the last 3 weeks. The Orange have lost 3 games in a row, 4 of their last 5.
Tim, watch how they use their dribble against the zone. Tough pass there. They'll try and pinch people, have them 2-man playing 1.
Dangerous cross-court pass to Bennett. He'll drift back up top against the zone.
Against you or me, it would be dangerous, but with the foot speed of these kids, it would be.
Nice pump fake by Bennett, and he's fouled.
Stevie, tough one, number 2, I believe. But right here, the zone extended. All of a sudden, the back. See, Joe Frederick can't react. Great look, and not coming down, made the basket.
Jameer Jackson comes in. LaFonso Ellis comes back. Sweet will go out of the ball game along with Keith Tower. He'll sit down and take a rest on Digger's bench.
Let's see if this quick unit now can press and play a little better defense.
2 fouls now against Stevie Thompson.
Digger really gets the numbers in now. A whole new look. Not sticking with 5 or 6 players.
Elmer Bennett is just a 43% free throw shooter, and you can see why on that shot.
Elmer's got to go to the workshop.
He led the state of Texas in scoring the last 2 years, averaging more than 30 points a game. The only Texan on the parade All-American team last year is just a freshman, Elmer Bennett. The Irish are now 1 for 5 at the line this afternoon.
For Syracuse, nice look inside to Robinson. Syracuse didn't respond. Syracuse not too good a free throw shooting team as well.
That's the 4th tie of the game at 21. This is Douglas out front, working on Bennett. Notre Dame stays in a man-to-man.
Now, I think it's a matchup. And again, letting people alone.
Thompson.
They confuse you a little bit with their look. Nice pass.
Nice save by Ellis. Jackson for 3.
Of course, making the goal, the crowd responds, gets their press set up as well. I like to see Sherman in the middle against this pressure. I think he can start it into a Syracuse fast break.
Down to Douglas on the baseline. Nice pass to Owens.
Great response. Owens didn't stay in the corner, got to the basket. Of course, Sherman Douglas been doing it for so long and well.
Owens has 6 points. It's a 1-point Irish lead.
And a man. Trying to get organized a little bit. Double screen on one side. He can do this. In or out, the Fonz is for real. Bigger feels he may be the best freshman in the country. Now that's saying a lot.
3-point lead. Thompson cuts it to 1. Frederick pushes it up quickly. He's working on Stevie Thompson. Looks to the baseline. Now they'll bring it up and set the offense.
Stack on one side. Frederick usually pops out. Nice post pass.
Robinson blocked by Owens.
Bonds with a cheapie, huh?
And Ellis gets tagged with the foul. That's his second.
Now, Billy Owens sort of slips around, hides. All of a sudden, he's a terrific shot blocker off the ball. Responds to the man with it.
16 fouls against the Irish. It's a 1-point Notre Dame lead. There's been 4 ties. Ellis 4 for 5, 8 points. Douglas 7 points, 3 assists and a steal. Tim Brandt and Bill Raftery with you.
Timmy, when you play Syracuse, you can tell if they're in the game by the turnovers leading to goals or how they exploit you. Here, taking advantage of the full court pressure, getting into the middle. Stevie Thompson with the penetration. But I think pressing Syracuse gets them going, gets them excited, and they really enjoy and get the adrenaline pumping when they get those easy baskets.
7 minutes and 25 seconds remain in the half. Have you seen the field goal percentage? It's 26-25 Notre Dame. Syracuse with the basketball. And Sherman Douglas appears healthy.
They're really going to tag Matt Rowe. They don't want to give him the alley-oop.
Coleman walks.
That is a tough pass. That's from the point about 10 feet behind the three-point line to the baseline, and it was complete, unfortunately, for Syracuse to walk.
Billy, that's the 3rd walking call against the Orange this afternoon.
They haven't got it to Ellis in Loma. It'll pick and roll for him.
Nice pass by Frederick inside to Robinson.
They set them up on one side. The defense fell asleep on the other, the weak side. Great look to Robinson.
Now the full court pressure by Notre Dame causes some problems.
They haven't been able to get it to Sherman in the middle, have they? Douglas very good at feeding the pressure.
He is more active than we've seen him since his injury last week. This is Douglas.
Nice rebound.
Nice rebound by Owens. Goes back up top to Rowe, who will fire for 3.
And after the shot, one you don't want to foul on. But Notre Dame almost camouflaging. The pick and roll on the one side. Frederick came off Ellis's pick. And here's the defense responding to the ball. Didn't maintain their responsibility. Great bounce pass.
The foul was on Rowe. And that's his first. The Syracuse wears the black armband in memory of the Syracuse students killed in the Pan Am crash at Lockerbie. Meanwhile, the Notre Dame campus is in mourning for Bob Satterfield, a reserve quarterback on the Irish football team, who died early Thursday morning suffering a seizure just hours after a visit to the White House.
Double screen and pop out on the other side for Frederick.
Johnson kicks it out to Douglas. They start the break.
Got the numbers. Road and you go. He stayed at the three-point line. The coaches are teaching that now.
Frederick in the paint. Back to Jackson for three.
On the two buddies. Jackson and Frederick. Very influential in the makeup of this team, attitude-wise and certainly performance.
Jackson has 6 points, 2 of them from three-point range. Coleman with the turnaround. His shot is short. Johnson with the rebound. And they're going to call it on Johnson coming over the top.
He's being punished for a great play, Tim. I don't blame you. David in position, strong effort negated. You call this one. I just thought you've got to have a right to go get the basketball, Tim. Right here. Well, I guess he did take advantage of some people.
Coach Raftery.
I love the offensive rebounder, though. Sorry, Jerry.
Notre Dame's biggest lead, 31-26.
Same plays before, a little pick and roll.
Look at the jump stop by Frederick and rolls it in.
Does that beautifully. Hop to success.
Frederick now with 8 points. It's 33-26 Irish.
Derek Coleman's been getting the ball in their inside set and hasn't been converting. He's got to do a better job.
Douglas out the row for three.
Can't leave him. They worked hard on that. Notre Dame names all their offenses after states or schools. I asked Digger, did he have a Seton Hall play? He said, no, we only use plays that'll work.
That's from the old coaches, Seton Hall, and Ellis gets a walk.
Not anymore when I was there. Font's in a hurry there.
Keith Tower comes back into the ball game for Notre Dame. And Thompson comes back in for Syracuse. Near the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game for each team. And in their honor, Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. That's coming up a little bit later this afternoon.
On the alley-oops, Notre Dame's worked hard to take away the pass by putting the bottom up.
Rose shot for three. The rebound goes to Coleman. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Irish.
But Notre Dame tries to take away the alley-oop by putting a body on the guy going to the hole. And thus far, Syracuse has been able to get away with a few of them.
Rich Manning comes into the game now for Syracuse, a 6'10 freshman. He replaces Coleman. Coleman sits down. He's a little bit surprised that he's coming out of the game. Douglas with the alley-oop underneath. Owens may have been in the cylinder.
He was,
and they negated.
Sherman saying he followed through. This is amazing, though. You think it's just going to be a normal play. Billy Owens, who had ignited the play, taking it out, the follow-through cost him. But you just can't relax with the interior play of Syracuse.
Robinson from the right elbow. Turnover situation not good for either club, but it's a 6-point Irish lead. 3 minutes and 35 seconds remain in the first half.
Well, I think I'd make Syracuse play half court, to be honest, Tim.
Douglas with a nice penetration.
Not that easily, though. No help, but you got to contain the dribbling. Go with a force a little bit, huh?
Look at the big guy. Tower has it blocked down by Manning.
Numbers.
2-on-1. Douglas takes it the distance and scores.
He is fresh. What a difference.
That cuts the lead to 2.
When Sherman Douglas is healthy, it's amazing how much better a coaching job he can do.
Robinson.
Drive, draw, and dish.
He now has 10 points.
Rick Barnes up at Providence told me they call it pull and kick.
Running one-hander by Douglas, answers at the other end.
Can't let him get in there, though. simple offense right now. Digger can't be too happy with the half-court D.
Douglas with 13 points. He's 6 for 7 from the field. Bennett, his shot not even close, off the left side. A rebound goes to Syracuse. The Orange will look at things and set it up.
I think Sherman's better, look at this look, when he looks for others.
Tough shot by Stevie Thompson.
That's exactly what I'd like to see him do more of. Sherman Douglas has that ability, but occasionally looks for himself and they lose the others.
The 5th tie of the game.
On the dribble, 5-second call.
That's turnover number 10.
All the pressure turns him into an exciting player. Not good D right now, Timmy.
And we're tied. The last 3.5 minutes, Syracuse has gone on an 11-4 run after Notre Dame took its biggest lead at 33-26. And part of the reason is Sherman Douglas, 13 points. He's 6 for 7 from the field, 5 assists and 1 steal.
Tim, he ignites the breaks. You can see the assist here, how he looks for others. When he involves the Syracuse people, they're a better team. And more than that, his perspective on Proposal 42, he thinks it hurts inner city kids. JC, you have to go to, or a lot of kids, as he said, I might not be able to go to school at all. So a little more to him, and then the strip.
This is Sweet, and has it knocked away by Rowe.
That Rowe running under him. Sherman didn't conclude that sequence.
Second personal foul on Rowe.
Right here, now he doesn't spin the ball as well as I've seen him. He lost his balance, and of course the strip by Tim Singleton. Damon can get up and down the floor. He's going to be a terrific player at Notre Dame. Sweet with some good ability.
Damon Sweet, 6'5" freshman from Beaumont, Texas. He won the MVP award at the Texas Coaches Association All-Star Game. Scored over 2,200 points in high school. And he hits this one.
Of course, the key for him was Ellis, I think. When he got the Fonz to come here, everybody else blended in. Got the speed he wanted to change his game back to the Fordham days. His whole philosophy reinforced by this group.
Sweet hits the second one. They call Sweet and Elmer Bennett the Texan connection. A 2-point Irish lead with 1:35 remaining in the first half. This is Douglas.
Rich Manning inside. Not that good a passer out high, but can shoot the jumper in low.
Rowe will go reset. Manning goes down hard. Shot clock at 12. Manning with the rebound. Strong rebound.
That's what they want from him. A couple of minutes till he gets his legs.
And the possession arrow is pointing in the direction of the Orange.
We're crazy because you watch coaches, you watch them prepare. Stevie Thompson, they're leaving him alone, and yet they're not going to take away the inside game. He's tough in there, though.
Tap inside by Coleman, and he's fouled.
Stevie's going to beat you in the 3-second area. Notre Dame, when he's outside, is falling back off, but they're still not stopping the ball from getting in low.
The foul is on Tower. That's his second. Coleman at the line.
Jimmy was pretty good yesterday. He wasn't rip-roaring, but he was mean. He didn't say hello to you, did he?
Sure he did. He was angry at you. He said every time you do a game, he loses.
Laid it on me. Jim Boeheim. He doesn't understand losing. To be honest with you, he doesn't know how to handle a losing streak. It just doesn't happen up there.
40-39 Syracuse. First Orange lead since it was 21-19.
I thought I'd get a call from him from my experience in that area. Nice look.
Robinson with a short jumper.
Too many people in on the trap. Created a situation where some Fighting Irish were open.
Robinson's having a strong first half. He has 12 points. Coming up at halftime, the road to the Final Four continues as James Brown brings us up to date with all the scores and highlights from around the country. And that road to the Final Four today goes right through Notre Dame, Indiana. 18 seconds remain on the clock. Douglas will hold it for a Syracuse last shot. The shot clock is off.
He usually wants it back late. Nickel dimer out there by Keith.
Robinson has his second personal. And that's the 7th team foul against the Irish. Herman Hareed will check back in for the Orange.
say the strategy wouldn't be bad if it was somebody else, not Matt Rowe. 71% shooter. You might see more of that, giving fouls to guys like Stevie Thompson.
Frederick comes back in for Notre Dame. Keith Atkins makes his first appearance. Singleton will sit down.
Now, Atkins is in because he's a terrific three-point shooter. They don't get the layup, the long breakaway pass. Look for him.
Scored 53 points in one game last year. It's the long-range scoring threat for Notre Dame. Matt Rowe, as you mentioned, 71% free throw shooter, cannot get it to go down. 5 seconds remain in the half. Inside the tower, blocked away by Coleman with 1 second.
Pretty good reaction, but Hareed in position to take away the front, permitted Derek Coleman to come over the back. Just got to be careful of the alley-oop now.
Frederick says it's our ball. Sherman trying to bring it in.
He's trying to make the call, too. Saying to hit off his head.
We saw that little switch earlier this year. Iowa switched a guy at the free throw line and got away with it.
They're letting the sub come in now. Little defense for offense.
Cat and mouse game between Boeheim and Phelps. He's not going to get the shot off. It doesn't count. It does not count.
Right on the money.
So that's the end of the first half, with Notre Dame holding a 1-point lead, 41-40. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
I think he feels a lot better about his club. They seem to be in it. And I'm just looking for Notre Dame now, with the switching defenses, to do a better job inside.
Syracuse 14-4, 1-4 in the Big East. The Orangemen have been 1-4 in the conference only one time before. That was back in 1980, but they won the Big East tournament that year. The Irish, on the other hand, play 8 of their next 9 games at home here at the Joyce Athletic Convocation Center.
Man-to-man, Syracuse.
Just underway. Second half, it's 41-40. Irish.
Owens paying attention to Ellis.
Notre Dame moves what looks like the old-fashioned weave, and now they set the offense. This is Jameer Jackson.
Steve Thompson's gamble almost cost them. Good pump fake.
Ellis has it blocked by Coleman.
Pretty good reaction.
Thompson pushes it up quickly and throws it away.
Stevie not as good in the middle as Sherman Douglas. This is one thing about Syracuse when they got it going. The pump fake gets Owens up in the air. The reaction by Derek Coleman as well as Matt Rowe. Terrific inside D.
LaFonso Ellis, one of the top 5 freshmen in the country, along with Mourning, Owens, Pills, and Jackson, the other freshmen making headlines around the country.
Digger wants to play anybody, including Alonzo Mourning in Georgetown, with LaFonso Ellis. He thinks a lot of them.
Jameer Jackson with a tough reversal.
They do a great job at getting into the middle of things with the dribble. They must exploit that more.
Good first step, quick to the baseline.
Zone D by Notre Dame now. They're going to leave Stevie alone.
Stevie will take it right at the basket and score.
That's all he has. He's not going to take the jumper. Backing way off, jamming things up inside.
Singleton takes it into the paint, looks for some help. He better be careful.
Good help by Matt Rowe.
He was in danger of a 3-second call with his pivot foot in the blue.
Might get a 5 here. Yep.
They do. Turnover, Notre Dame.
Because you're dribbling the ball looking for somebody to get free. You've got to, in your mind, know the time. Look at this, falling asleep. Sherman makes the pay a little bit.
Rowe can't get the three-pointer to drop. Owens with the follow.
Everybody over to help out. Billy Owens held his ground.
Syracuse leads by 1. Nice move by Singleton. Oh, what a move.
Woo. Everybody got off the lunges with that, baby.
Not a good pass.
I thought Sherman was in trouble with Ellis, but he can get it up high enough.
He saw something you didn't.
Absolutely. We have the same angle.
Nice pull-up by Frederick. 47-46, Notre Dame.
Sherman Douglas always has the head up. He looked again for the alley-oop.
Thompson again takes it inside. His shot is short. Coleman, and he's fouled.
Steve Thompson will call out a pass, but that's alert offensive positioning by Derek Coleman.
The foul is on Robinson, and that's his third.
So the reaction last year or a few years ago would be, this is too many points, too fast a pace game for Notre Dame. But Digger Phelps likes it now. He's letting them go.
Coleman doesn't make it.
As we all know, Syracuse loves to go up and down. I think Notre Dame will have to pull the plug once in a while and change the tempo.
Irish have a chance to regain the lead. Jameer Jackson fires for three.
And right away, the full court pressure after the three.
Jackson now has 11 points. 3 3-pointers.
That should open things up inside for Bonzo Ellis. Well, he's doing I can't believe he's getting away with it. Ellis is directly behind Coleman. He will just destroy you.
Coleman's hitting 60% from the field, 70% from the line, 68 blocks on the year, and he averages 17 points. We're tied at 50. This is Jameer Jackson.
Moving left.
Robinson take it inside, right at Coleman.
They really concentrate their drills, asking Digger Phelps why they rebound so well. It's just that he makes sure if they make a mistake, the second one, he'll take them out if they don't get rebounding position.
Talking with Sherman Douglas yesterday, he said that they didn't have the leadership when he wasn't in there. He thought that was his biggest role of the day. This is Coleman.
That's too easy. Well, Sherman never lacked for humility.
The Washington guy.
Well, it fits.
Spirit High School, Washington, D.C., same high school as Dave Bing.
Them trying the same thing now. That was interesting. One official was ready to call the charge. Jerry had the right one, though. The reach in with the hands. How to protect the dribble. Youngsters watching, you got to put it down real low, crossover so the man can't reach in. Sherman Douglas offering it up a little bit late.
First personal foul against Douglas. The first team foul, and we're tied on CBS.
Derek Coleman, sensational inside, but if you give him the opportunity, post defense here, Robinson behind him, just impossible to stop. He does the pump fakes, he leans in, he's got good crossover steps. I think Notre Dame's got to go around in front and get the weak side help.
Coleman starting to take over, you're right, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks. He's hit 31 of his last 39 free throw attempts over the last 4 games. 15 minutes, 50 seconds remain in the ball game. We're tied at 52.
2-3 on the out of bounds. Maybe Derek Coleman should teach the others how to shoot their free throw, huh? That's been a dilemma for them all year. And it catches up to you in a close ball game.
The 9th tie of the game. This is Singleton now, working against the zone.
Both clubs taking a little breather right now. They've been going at one another.
Frederick for 3.
In the 2-3, Matt Rowe had to go down too far. Billy Owens has to come out and play him.
Very young, but they're like ice. Very patient.
Very confident.
Rowe will try to answer for 3. The 10th tie of the game.
All Notre Dame talked about was tagging Matt Rowe. Don't let him get the freebie. Now man-to-man by Syracuse.
Singleton recognizes it. And now he calls the offense. Pretty. Inside of Robinson, blocked down by Coleman. Jackson with the follow, yes!
That's hanging tough and reacting to a block. But Derek Coleman very active on both ends. I think he felt the sting of the losses.
He has 69 blocks on the year, 6 today, Coleman.
And those 7 generally lead the breaks the other way.
Here he is on the offensive end.
There's the step through.
Tough power move, and he walks.
Absolutely incorrect call. He kept his pivot foot. Jimmy Boeheim furious. That's a drill that they use every day where you turn square up and step using your right foot as the pivot foot. There's the right foot now. The step through.
No question about it.
If anything, he's sliding, but that's permissible.
I disagree. I thought he shuffled this Ellis.
I wouldn't have hired you on the home games.
3-on-1 for the Orange.
Anytime they get you in that situation, they're a terrific finishing club.
57-57. Syracuse ranked 11th in the country.
Ellis very quiet of late.
Notre Dame, pretty much unknown because they're so young. But they're 8-2. Great rebound. Ellis, blocked by Coleman. 3-on-2. Alley-oop.
Great job taking him out of the play by Singleton.
Douglas gets it back. And scores.
That is preparation. Singleton rode Stevie Thompson right out of bounds. Jim Boeheim wanted a foul, but there's great preparation. Little screen down for Frederick.
Frederick scores, and he's fouled by Rowe.
It's amazing. All the drills in practice, sometimes you wonder if the teams are paying attention. But Sherm on the fly, finishing it off. They just seem to make you pay for mistakes.
That's the third foul on Rowe. It's the second team foul of this half for Syracuse. Joe Frederick, a 6'4" junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, co-captain of this team, broke all the high school scoring records, which were held by his brother and his sister.
Look at this, getting all of it.
And he gets this one. His sister was a heck of a player.
He's got a pretty good attitude. I said, did you mind Digger hollering at you in the past when he would get on players? He said, no. He said, I sort of miss it this year. He's too nice. Here's the matchup now. Now straight man. Got to deny inside, I think. Notre Dame not doing that good a job in low. Shuffle cut.
With the drive, and he's fouled out front.
Frederick leaning on him. Good patience right then. Derek Coleman looked a little tired. They let him rest, ran some stuff, milked the clock.
The foul is on Frederick, and that's his second, the team's second. "12 minutes and 35 seconds remain in the ball game."
Good pump.
Rowe for two.
You got to stay on the floor. Makes it a little easier. There's anything you want Matt Rowe to beat you with the bounce.
He now has 9 points, and the Irish will set out front.
Using the screens in low for LaFonso Ellis.
Singleton, tough penetration. Gets it down to Ellis, and they'll kick it back out front.
They're very good at dribbling and creating things. They got a violation. 3.
These turnovers aren't to the critical stage yet, but there are a lot of them.
There's a little bleeding.
Sherman Douglas handles the basketball like a yo-yo.
He likes to throw a one-handed pass. Once in a while, he's burned by doing it. His dribble penetration or the high-low stuff.
Owens, pump fake, power move.
Just easily done, and I'm amazed. I think Notre Dame's in dire need of an adjustment defensively as Rowe doesn't get there.
They call the block on Rowe. That's his 4th.
Down here.
And Jim Boeheim will sit him down. David Johnson comes back in. Rowe will get a break with 4 personal fouls. David Johnson, a 6'5" freshman. Rowe will take a seat. 11:36 remaining in the ball game. It's a 3-point Orange lead. Round 3, you can see that here today. The premier coverage of CBS Golf. Coleman with another block. Rebound, Robinson, and he scores.
Tim, extraordinary reaction by Derek Coleman. This is the way he has to play all the time, Tim. He's got to concentrate. Notre Dame still into the man-to-man.
Tough pass underneath. Johnson scores, and he's fouled.
Jameer fell asleep right here. You think you got a basket? Well, think again. Look at the reaction from about 7 feet. Joe Frederick in his schoolyard probably would have nailed that one.
Jameer Jackson picks up his second personal. And David Johnson A 6'5" freshman from Morgan City, Louisiana, goes to the line.
Tim, I think Digger Phelps switched to his matchup then, and Jameer got caught looking at the ball and got caught behind.
Johnson, just a 43% free throw shooter. Way off the mark on that one.
I think Boeheim's got to cringe when he sees these guys on the foul line. Start looking the other way.
The Irish trail by 3. Ellis' shot is short. Great rebound by Robinson.
Ellis is not getting anything inside, so now he moved out. Hasn't really been a factor. I think he's got to get the basketball more.
Robinson has 11 rebounds.
Nice play. Drew two-man.
Robinson shot off the back of the rim.
Good.
Rebound, Stevie Thompson.
Good curl by Robinson.
Douglas for 3.
And Stevie Thompson got it right to him. No hesitation.
Digger needs a timeout. And he's going to take one. It's a 13-5 Syracuse run. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station.
On each staff, or the guys that do a lot of the groundwork, they felt that this game was a big game. They thought the pressure or the changing of the defense would be important.
Do you have the feeling, though, that this young Irish team could lose its composure down by 6 as time starts to melt away?
Yes, unless Ellis gets going. I mean, he doesn't play like a freshman.
This is Jameer Jackson out at the point. Picks up his dribble, gets in trouble. He had the 5 count going.
Good play by Ellis just to bail his man out.
Frederick working against Thompson. He's been confident against Stevie Thompson today.
Very lucky here.
Tough pass inside at Jackson, and he loses control, but there's a whistle and a foul against Syracuse.
So David Johnson, excellent position defensively. Almost got that denial into the 3-second area.
Foul is on Owens. That's his second.
Notre Dame with the bounce now, getting caught in precarious position. Very fortunate to get that one off.
That's the 4th team foul against Syracuse. 9 minutes, 44 seconds remain in the ball game. It's 68-62 Orange.
2-3 now. Jim Boeheim feels they don't play this as well as man-to-man. They get stuck in it once in a while. A lot of coaches just don't like to play man-to-man. They give up that easy one on the inbounds.
Ellis really wants to do something with the basketball. Appears a little bit frustrated. This is Bennett.
They had Frederick wide open in the corner. Should have made the extra pass. And was Coleman up. Huge.
Syracuse doesn't have to be in a hurry now.
Didn't have to, Sherman.
And Douglas throws it away.
Little extra pizzazz on it. Billy Owens almost got it. But occasionally, Sherman Douglas likes to lead to the goal. He is forcing Billy Owens to the basket.
The crowd feeling that this is a key possession for Notre Dame, needing a bucket badly.
Look at the double up. Sony, Darren Coleman. Going to give it to Billy Owens.
And for Owens, that'll be his 3rd.
Keith Robinson should benefit now. If Coleman's going to continually double up, he's got to find a hole. They have to get it to him.
5 team fouls, not over the limit. So Notre Dame will bring it inbounds. Jameer Jackson cannot hit.
Good pursuit.
The Irish have gone very cold.
Look at this rebound again. Numbers.
It's a 4-on-2. Thompson pushed from behind, and he scores.
Explosion. The Orangemen really turned what seems to be an equal balance into an advantage. The long rebound. Notre Dame not coming close for the soft one that you can follow. But look at this, the bounce by the big guy. He wants to be a point man. Get under the hole, Dirk.
Stevie Thompson, a 45% free throw shooter. Hits that one. And I think Syracuse is back out of the slump.
Well, they've got a long way to go. I just think Notre Dame's got to pound it in. Man-to-man again. And get the big guy involved. LaFonso Ellis not touching it.
Bennett for 2. Now the Irish have to play some tough defense. Syracuse on a 15-7 spurt.
In the matchup right now, Ellis all alone. He's giving Coleman the deep one. They're getting a little blow right now. Now they're in man.
Notre Dame scored only one basket in the last 4 minutes.
Stevie, a mismatch in there with Joe Frederick. Not a matchup that Joe would dream about.
73-64. Syracuse. Jameer Jackson hits for three. Oh, they need that one.
Did they keep that going? I just think LaFonso Ellis is the guy that's got to touch it. Maybe I'm wacky.
Jackson has 16 points, 4 rebounds. The crowd comes back to life. Thompson gets away with a walk.
Great help.
Jackson with the steal. Frederick is fouled.
They're going to score? They're going to say it was under the goal. Going to score.
It's good. Goaltending.
When you're behind, you're looking for some help.
Syracuse timeout.
And right now, the great defense and a reaction up the floor. Jameer seeing his partner and pal, Joe Frederick, and strong to the goal. That one, the big guy should have let go.
7:26 remains. 73-69 Syracuse. Syracuse went on a 15-5 tear. Notre Dame didn't score for 4 minutes. But a Jackson three-pointer, and now Joe Frederick is trying to convert a three-point play, and Notre Dame's back in it.
Well, Tim, all game has been Derek Coleman. Look at Billy Owens with the left hand. Not his dominant hand, able to soar and negate the try.
Frederick, the Cincinnati High School Player of the Year in 1986, cannot hit it. Fight for the rebound. Nice Ellis.
He's got to get in the flow, Tim. Nice cut.
Owens loses it out of bounds. No, Syracuse basketball.
Well, we mentioned the ability to rebound. They really concentrate. LaFonso Ellis with the follow-up.
The foul is on Robinson. That'll be his fourth. That's the 15th foul against Notre Dame. Johnson cannot hit a free throw. 43% from the line. Jim Boeheim calls him perhaps the best natural all-around athlete in the freshman class.
Showed something yesterday at practice. Robinson has to be careful. They're just not as active without him.
He hits the second with Notre Dame, now 7 of 13 from the line.
Get LaFonso into the flow, Joe. Look at his triple team.
Taken away. Douglas.
He would have dunked it 2 weeks ago. Just making sure he doesn't have any more back difficulty.
Digger Phelps is talking to Ellis, telling him to move more, get in the flow of this offense.
Great reaction defensively by Syracuse on that trap.
Nice pass to Robinson.
Now that's how they made him pay for zoning inside. Derek Coleman all the way over, reacting. Everybody wants a jump ball on Syracuse. Just look at that. There may have been a kick and an elbow, but terrific reaction. Notre Dame has to do that. Make Robinson move around so Derek Coleman can't find him.
We talked to you about the top shot blockers in the country. Morning of Georgetown way ahead, but there's Derek Coleman, whose all-around game has been sensational. But this time he was called for a personal foul, and Robinson can't hit the free throw. And he's ordinarily a 71% free throw shooter.
Now at Alonzo Mourning, they're going to have a new category, hurries or changes. He does more of that than shooters, besides just blocking shots at Georgetown.
Digger Phelps just put his face in his hands. He can't believe they're missing free throws. 5-point Syracuse lead. Coleman with the turnaround.
Too active.
Great follow by Thompson.
Quick to the basketball.
6 minutes and 2 seconds remain, and now Notre Dame wants a timeout. Syracuse has scored 5 straight points. Tonight on CBS, it's the premiere of Dolphin Cove starring Frank Converse. That's followed by CBS special Viva Miami with Herb Alpert, Willie Nelson, and Linda Ronstadt. And West 57th Street, or West 57th, with Meredith Vieira investigating a controversial teenage drug and alcohol treatment program.
Of course, the great freshmen in the country, that question, should they be eligible? I'm, for one, would like them to sit out, socially and academically grow. We all know they can play basketball at a young age. That graphic proof of that.
Freshmen became eligible in 1972, my senior year. I'm against freshmen playing too, because one came in and almost beat me out that year.
They finally got it to him.
Nice follow inside by Robertson.
Well, he's going to be free because Derek Coleman's over zoning. Let Ellis touch the ball.
Robinson has 18 points for Notre Dame.
And a man. You got to toughen up inside.
5-point lead with 5.5 left. Coleman inside.
Billy Owens from the point down. Too easy a delivery. The entry pass has to be denied better.
Crowd goes quiet again as Frederick now down low to Robinson.
Billy Owens reacting beautifully. Either side, pretty good shot blockers. Look at this.
Nice pass to Thompson. He can't handle it. Back with a reverse layup and scores.
He's utterly amazing in low. Normally, great hands. That time he fumbled a little bit.
We said he's 6'4", but he plays like he's 6'8" or 6'9". You can see why now.
Nice play. You beat Derek Coleman one time, you got to worry about Billy Owens. The reaction here, Derek stayed at home, gambled. You think you've got an easy deuce reacting. You've got to see the ball. You've got to split the basket to do that. And Syracuse, I think because they're inside play, they keep getting shots like that. They're going to have more of a total game in and game out than you are.
The foul was called on Coleman. That's his second. We now have the biggest lead of the game for Syracuse. It's 82-73. Over the limit, so Robinson is at the line. Singleton is back in the ball game for Notre Dame.
Digger
Douglas gets it back for Syracuse.
Very upset at the free throw shooting of his club as Bennett gets involved. Look at Sherman trying to get rid of the shot too, Tim, to get a 2-shot foul.
Notre Dame's now 4 for 12 from the line, Billy, and we could not see them miss yesterday at practice.
Well, this is a case where both coaches look to their assistants. They duck under the bench. They don't want to be identified as the free throw shooting coach. But again, it's so different in a game, and the atmosphere, it's not easy. Of course, Digger's staff, everybody was played this out here.
Last foul was on Bennett. They only have 6 team fouls, so they're not over the limit, and they get the turnover. Good penetration by Singleton, but he cannot convert. He's fouled.
You may have seen LaFonso Ellis get down the floor, Tim. They really, for the first time in a while, exploded down the floor.
That foul was on David Johnson. That's his second. And Syracuse is over the limit, so the bonus situation is in effect.
It's going to be a very good talent, LaFonso Ellis.
Timmy Singleton, a 6'1" sophomore.
Great attitude, too. They had a trip to Kentucky early in the year, and Digger apparently was very upset on the plane, and he had this thing hang loose this year, Digger. And LaFonso Ellis, the freshman, ran over to him. He said, Coach, what's the problem? He said, well, you know, a little upset about the game. He said, Coach, hang loose. Now, only seniors are supposed to do that, Tim.
Rowe was trying to get into the game. The scorekeeper here wouldn't let him in. That got Boeheim upset. Rowe finally was allowed to play. Pressure. And Johnson sits down. It's 82-75 Syracuse with 4:22 remaining.
Both teams prepared for pressure. We didn't see a whole lot of it.
Douglas gets away with a carry. Instead, Singleton gets called for the foul.
And he had him turned, too. Good job, Timmy Singleton. Had him turned towards the middle of the floor.
That's the 7th team foul. 1-on-1 situation. Joe Frederick will check back in for Notre Dame. David Johnson will come back in for Syracuse. So Rowe goes out along with Singleton.
Jim Boeheim doing a lot more offense, defense now. Matt Rowe with the back. But I think David Johnson is coming too. He wants to give him more minutes. I believe he wants to get deeper on his bench. He's been hesitant.
Sherman Douglas, player of the year out of Washington, D.C. in 1985. Misses that one.
With that background, you've got to concentrate on the orange.
Jackson for three. Can't get it to go down. Rebound Syracuse.
Oh, nice play.
Thompson is fouled.
Can you believe the recognition of Syracuse?
Boeheim wants an intentional foul called.
No shot. Maybe up in the old days of Manly. Look at this. No dribble. Bang. Terrific. And then the push. I mean, that's not easy. You've got to work at it. Of course, you've got to have the players who can pull it off.
And Thompson hits it. He was the California High School Player of the Year. Parade and McDonald's High School All-American. Majoring in marketing. He's led Syracuse in scoring 8 times this year, and he hits the second one.
He hasn't had 2 in a row since grade school. Oh, the stroke looks good, but he sometimes flicks it or pulls the string.
The Orange hit their last 4 from the line. The Irish almost lose it again.
Look at the tenacious defense right now.
They do.
Hold on, Thompson. Emphatic. Just what Digger Phelps didn't want. The turnovers in an area that would lead to an explosion.
Biggest lead of the game for Syracuse. It's 11.
David Johnson gets called way out, but they've been able to turn, react, pinch, trap, and here's Stevie Thompson, the beneficiary of just good, aggressive, half-court man.
What do you call that, the Tomahawk Slam?
That was just a simple one for him. He has had a good performance, and they were going to give him the deep shot, but he's been able to beat him inside. They do like the numbers.
They do.
And they've been able to do it over the years.
Jackson is shooting 1-1, co-captain of the Irish team. And he cannot hit it.
And this past week with Jim Boeheim's attitude yesterday, I wouldn't want to have breakfast with him, would you? Imagine him in the morning. But he's proven his point with his club.
Knocked out of bounds by Singleton. You know, coming into this ball game, we thought, and it was obvious that the problem for Syracuse was free throw shooting, and Notre Dame has been strong at the line. But today, Notre Dame's just 6 for 15, and Syracuse has hit its last 4. They lead by 11.
Digger at 64%. He wasn't happy with his club either.
Owens is bumped and scores anyway.
Everybody playing behind. I think when Digger looks at the tapes, he'll notice just too easy for the ball to get inside.
Singleton takes it to the basket, scores.
Great move. The alert freshman able to step in. I thought this was a good goal.
Offensive foul.
I thought this was a softie. The theatrics got this one. Billy Owens, he learns quickly.
Basket doesn't count. It's 88-75. Syracuse.
Great play. Elmer Bennett.
Look at the pass by Coleman to Thompson.
Off the dribble. Not too many guards can make a pass off the dribble. Durrett can do so many things to beat you. Again, Coleman.
Nice pump fake by Ellis, the freshman, but he can't score. Well, we had the feeling yesterday at practice that Syracuse was ready to explode.
And I like this Notre Dame team. They have a lot of answers, a lot of speed. I just think recognition in this game was the problem today. How to defend and how to get Ellis the ball.
2 minutes and 30 seconds remain in the ball game. Frederick comes back in for Notre Dame. So it's Jackson, Bennett, Frederick, Ellis, and Singleton on the floor for the Irish. Bonzo Ellis, one of the top 5 freshmen. We told you that. He's the Irish leading scorer and leading rebounder. And he hits the free throw. He once smashed a backboard with a slam dunk at Lincoln High School, so to get ready for him, Digger Phelps put in breakaway rims here. First time in 18 years they've had him here.
Usually do that for your big guys. They got the numbers again.
Out and past the row.
Good play. They didn't need it. Now Syracuse has to move the basketball. Obviously, try not to get to the foul line. I might consider giving up fouls. Not to Rowe. Stevie Thompson, Sherman Douglas. I would go foul him right away.
It's a 14-point lead with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the ball game. And Frederick fouls Coleman.
So one of Jim Boeheim's problems late in the game is 2 of the fellas that handle the ball a lot are Sherman Douglas and Stevie Thompson. And you don't want them to have the ball because they're not the type of foul shooters that you need late in the game.
Robinson comes back in. Bennett will sit down for Notre Dame. What a year Coleman's having.
Well, turned out pretty good for Notre Dame. Of course, the next minute or so, they're going to have to foul anybody who has it.
Singleton with a tough reverse layup.
Got their press set up.
Cuts the lead to 12. And the foul. Foul is on Singleton. You see the situation, the time remaining, and the 12-point lead, and that's 5 for Singleton. He'll have to leave.
They're trying to get Timmy out. Digger's saying it's on somebody else.
He doesn't want to leave, and I don't blame him.
Now, what he does well is push the ball up the floor and penetrate. Elmer Bennett also with good speed. He's going to have to do the same thing. They're going to have to take those quick shots, challenge on the glass, and, of course, get their pressure set up.
Nothing but net for Rowe.
Syracuse, when they get it back, Tim, will open it up, and Sherman occasionally will take it down the middle, take the layup, and the maze in the background. Tough enough for Syracuse to make him without that.
You know, I was wondering why Rowe keeps talking to you at all these practices. He's majoring in television, radio, and film management. He wants your job.
A play-by-play man. Right away, quick shots, and a giveaway. Try for the steal and a giveaway.
Tough shot by Frederick. Takes it back to 12 points.
They've got to give it up.
1:35 remaining.
Don't have a choice right now, Tim. Give it to anybody.
Syracuse on the verge of winning its 15th game.
There it is. Give it.
Nice dish back to Thompson, but he cannot hit.
Not a good play. Looked good, but terribly ineffective.
Did look good.
It was pretty. That's one that'll upset the coach at tape time.
Coming up next, the road to the Final Four continues on CBS Sports as Villanova takes on the Wildcats of Arizona. Some of you will see Texas take on Vanderbilt. That's coming up next on CBS, the home of the NCAA Championship. Getting a preview of what could be taking place in the tournament here this afternoon. Feel certain these two teams will be there as Sweet comes back into the ball game for the Irish. And Keith Robinson fouls out. These guys even look confident from the free throw line today.
Well, maybe the couple of days, the psychological ploy, sitting with the coaches, just going over things and bringing up the concentration level worked for Jim Boeheim.
Syracuse came into this game hitting 58% as a team from the line, but the starters were way below that.
And that's a help for Notre Dame. I'm not so sure it was much of a foul. Sherman Douglas trying to make a stand. Elmer Bennett trying to turn the corner. He's got such speed. Occasionally he does fall on his own.
.116 remaining. 94-80 Syracuse.
1-1.
This is Elmer Bennett, freshman from Houston.
Just got to make those with the clock stop, Tim.
That's been the problem this afternoon for Notre Dame.
Sherman, the heady guy now. He's got to get the ball and take over. Syracuse with the timeout. The problem you have with Sherman this year is his free throw shooting. Douglas not the same as in the past.
But Syracuse has hit 8 of its last 9 from the line. From Notre Dame, 18 points, 13 rebounds, and a check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in their chosen field or endeavor.
Nice set play there, almost got a basket. Of course, Derek Coleman, they stopped in Detroit on the way here. He got a chance. His family came out to the airport. Maybe they said the right thing to him. Good-looking play.
Frederick from the right side. We're under a minute. Notre Dame wants a timeout as they cut the lead back to 12. So 50 center at Notre Dame with 55 seconds remaining in the game. This is Coleman from Syracuse. Has it blocked by Ellis.
They really don't have to score, Tim. They should be taking the some cases for Syracuse, so now a lot of pressure at the end. This is the right guy for them, though. He and Matt Rowe are the premier free throw shooters. But Digger, of course, his assistants were great help. Jeff Nix was the Syracuse coach. He took their team and game report, and he was telling us all the little things that they were going to look for, some of which worked for him. But I just can't think the defense was what they wanted.
Tough shot by Frederick. You have a feeling looking at Digger that he's just saying they had to hit their free throws against me.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this, the step. No, they got it. They give it intentional?
I don't think so. I think he was saying he grabbed his arm.
Oh, all right.
They'll be shooting 1-1. For Frederick, that's his 5th, and he'll have to leave with 24 points.
And for his performance after being sick, they've got to feel pretty good. Joe gave everything they had.
He averages 15. He leaves with 24 today. Hard-nosed competitor, junior out of Cincinnati. So Keith Atkins comes in and replaces him. Atkins is another one of the freshmen. The Fabulous Five, they're starting to call him here at Notre Dame.
Well, they got the makings, I think. A lot of excitement in the next couple of years here. I just think today Ellis forgotten by the others.
Rowe hits the shot. He banged it against the rim twice, and he walks away going.
And he's got the stroke. 71% free throw shooter, great distance shooter.
They've hit 11 of their last 12 from the line. Well, maybe he had a reason to gripe.
Wayne Morgan and Bernie Fine have to be sick. All the letters they get on how to shoot the ball, the assistants at Syracuse.
What a great follow by Sweet.
Look at this gamble. Not a good one.
Steal by Bennett.
They had Jameer in the other corner, never looked at him.
Syracuse loses it out of bounds. 21 seconds left. It's 97-86. Don't forget, coming up next, Villanova against Arizona, or some of you will see Texas against Vanderbilt.
Sean Elliott, one of the great ones. Nice play by Sherman Douglas.
He'll just lay it in.
Oh, he didn't have to do that. With that back, so much for our sympathy. We couldn't do it with a good one.
Bennett had the shot, didn't take it. Instead, he goes to Atkins. Atkins has it blocked away. Back to Bennett, and that should do it. A foul with 1 second left on the clock.
Did that show you something, that move by LaFonso Ellis, gathering and delivery? But inside defense by both Billy Owens and Derek Coleman, the long arm of the law, up there big.
For Coleman, that's his 4th. Syracuse breaks a 3-game losing streak. They move to 15-5. They're still 1-4 in the Big East. Ranked as high as number 2 in the nation. That was January 3rd. Gotten to number 11 now. But I think the Orange have broken out of the slump.
They got to feel pretty good for themselves. They didn't play well during those games, and they happen to be close in all of them, too. They don't get blown out. But again, the head, the man that runs the show, Sherman Douglas, so important for the entire approach to the game.
Syracuse averages 95. They get 99. So for Bill Raftery and James Brown, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Notre Dame, where the final score once again, Syracuse 99, Notre Dame.
North Carolina State.